in a sense, the way in which Game of Thrones mirrors something you did early in your career, which was another cult TV series, and that is the Avengers. Very different eras, different styles, but there's something actually quite similar about the way both captured the spirit of an age. Would you agree?
Yes, I think so. I mean, Emma Peel, I do hate the name. Oh, talk about cliché. But anyway, Emma Peel was way ahead of her time. And the reason for that was that originally it was two fellows. It was Patrick Macnee and another actor whose name escapes me. And he dropped out and Honor Blackman took over, and they didn't change the script.
So it was a part written for a man that ended up being played by a woman. And maybe that's why so many people have said, my God, this was revolutionary. It was a really proper, strong, independent, equal part for a woman.
That's right. And that's
because it actually wasn't supposed to be for a woman.
Exactly. That's how it happened.
Yeah, and you took over from Honor Blackman. You were very young. I mean, you sort of paid your dues in theatre, provincial theatre, the RSC as well, doing Shakespeare, and then suddenly you were plucked out of all that and told you were going to have this really rather glamorous part in a new TV show.
I left, I was with the Royal Shakespeare Company for 5 years, and I would sort of work my way up and to play leads, and I left because I sensed I had to broaden myself. I didn't want just to be a Shakespearean actress. And the world of television was there, sort of beckoning in a way, and I was incredibly lucky to get an audition and to get the part.
Well, for those on the planet who don't remember the Avengers and that sort of 60s sort of style that it encapsulated, let's have a look at a clip of Emma Peel, super sleuth, in the Avengers and in a very particular get-up. Let's have a look.
Give me the gun.
Back up.
Give me the gun.
It's compelling stuff. I mean, obviously I'm not going to mess with you in the studio, given what I've just seen. But how do you feel about watching that now? Because if anybody mentions your name, I think the first images conjured up are of the catsuit and of Emma Peel. And do you like that, or is that actually quite frustrating?
No, again, I'm very grateful. The only frustrating part about it was the suit was, oh God, it was uncomfortable, and it took me a good half hour to go to the lavatory, getting out of that thing, you know, peeling it off. But I'm very grateful to it. I'm really, it suddenly projected me in, beyond years of work in the theatre.
Yeah, I mean, that is frustrating in a way for somebody who loves theatre so much, that, you know, you can cut through and reach a massive audience with only 2 years, as it was, on that show, in a way that years and years and years of classical theatre couldn't do for you.
Yeah, and I went back, I think it was after the second year, I went back to Stratford to do Twelfth Night to say, look, hey, I can put bums on seats. And in fact, I was doing the two together. I was filming The Avengers and doing Twelfth Night.
Just one thing about that intrigues me, because there have been all sorts of different analyses of what Emma Peel represented, and a lot of it is seen through a sort of feminist prism. Some feminists say she was fantastic. She was revolutionary because she was a strong, independent, phenomenally capable woman who was an equal partner with a man. And others have said, oh, yeah, but how terrible that this sort of independent woman had to be put in high heels and a catsuit and look so very glam, you know. Men didn't have to go through all of that.
Do they want hairy legs? I mean, you know, you can't... Of course it was. If you're playing the lead in a television series, and in that sort of series, why not present glamour at the same time as self-sufficiency? Talking of film, you say film can spit you out as an actor so easily, but
There are certain roles that live long in the memory, and I think you can lay claim to one of them with your role in one of the Bond movies,
Yes.
on Her Majesty's Secret Service, which is remembered, I suppose, partly because it was the only Bond role played by George Lazenby, but also because your female character, the love interest, was actually quite different from most Bond girls. It was a deeper character, a more human character, and actually ended up with a marriage between your character and Bond himself. Let's just see how you played the role alongside Bond.
No sign of him yet.
Or of someone saying thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. You've got sharp eyes and beautiful earlobes. What were you doing so near Piz Gloria?
Now I have a new interest in life.
Winter sports, eh? Very wholesome.
Just one winter sportsman. And Pa told me where to find him.
Just keep my mind on your driving.
So there you are, Tracy De Vincenzo, I believe your character was called. Was that fun? Because a lot of women who've played in Bond as quote-unquote Bond girls get pigeonholed. And I wonder whether you felt you did or whether you escaped that.
No, not at all. Really not. I mean, I think, yeah, no, not. I can't say I did.
Afterwards say it was quite difficult playing alongside George Lazenby.
George was difficult. And, there's no mistake about it. And as a result, he was not invited back. But nonetheless,
You mean he wasn't up to it?
No, he was perfectly good. He really, really was. I think, I mean, I haven't seen it for ages, apart from that cut. I thought he was, yes, he was good. But he was just so difficult off and demanding, and the producers thought, enough.
You know, film folklore has it that because your relationship with him was quite difficult, you ate garlic before the intimate scenes.
That was so silly. He accused me of that, and in fact,
did he actually accuse you of it?
Yeah, he did. And in fact, what happened was that I'd had mistakenly pate, chicken liver pate for lunch, and they'd put garlic in it, but I didn't mean to, and I'm absolutely certain that prior to the snogging scene, I'd actually done everything that actors do, clean your teeth and chew gum and spray and all that kind of stuff. But he thought, because he was paranoid by this time, he thought I'd done it on purpose, which I hadn't. I wouldn't dream of doing such a thing.
Well, I'm so glad we've cleared that up.
Well, I'm glad too, because it's lingered for 25 years.